Our chit chat, sweet conversations that overflow with insights and inspirations. So, welcome, Eric Pai, Angel Eric Pai.
Shanti everyone, and yes, Bhumiji, nice to be back in a Zoom. I was so happy to be in Peace Village last weekend, and now we're celebrating every evening for the goddesses, but I really felt, and I'm sure everyone who was also in Peace Village last weekend must have felt that we were with the living goddesses themselves. So Mohini Didi, it was really nice to be with you and with Genti Didi last weekend. Hello, welcome. This is a beautiful sunflower for you today.
This is real.
Yeah, it's real. It's a real one.
It's also from your plant.
No. This one is one I received, but it's on the living room. My jasmine is being recharging. It's like my phone. I have to let it sit a little bit, and it's preparing for the next blooming. There are many buds, but they will be ready next Saturday. But I thought this would be nice for.
That's beautiful. Yeah.
Being bestower. So it's a beautiful topic for this month, and this last the reflection I had after the weekend we spent together. And as much we experience so much from the knowledge and meeting each other, saying hello to each other, but sometimes it's just a few moments, a few seconds when you watch a scene and Baba is present, and the souls are there, are just touching their highest awareness, I guess. And I remember when you were coming in the hall, and everybody was waving, and there was such an emotion, such a beauty. And Genti Didi was such a royal, queen as well. And when you both were standing on the stage, so I really felt like these images, they're kind of awakening something that even knowledge can be limited. We can think about merciful bestower, but at the same time, it's almost as if we have to reawaken the memory of our own original eternal stage. And I found this is really what helps us when we're together physically. Zoom can do wonders, but I think when we're physically, like when we go to Madhuban, it cannot be replicated. It's very different. Anyway, that was my experience for last weekend. It was absolutely wonderful. But yes, I thought we can chit chat about the topic, but I also have I'm curious about something, because I feel that these values, bestower, merciful, they're very big values. It's not like being patient or, forgiving someone for a mistake is one thing, but mercy is such a deeper part of our fabric, our nature. Bestower is not just being generous. It's a difference between generous and bestower. So how much do you feel we really have to practice becoming these values? Or how much is it about trying to feel, as I said, the stage of the soul, about connecting with the full awareness of being that, and then we will be it naturally? Or do we have to practice really, like you were saying, someone says something to think, oh, let me be merciful. Let's add a little bit of mercy. Or does it come from a higher consciousness?
Yeah. If we want souls to be elevated, let's say anyone is very violent, or I'm talking of even in Lokik world. So you have to love that soul and have mercy for that soul to transform. But if I say it's a very violent soul, this one is but I have, with some of the leaders of the world, or I remember once I was somewhere at airport, and someone very known for his, dictatorship, and in that doing a lot of violent things. And somebody said, what do you think about that person? So I said, I still love that person. I still have good wishes for that person, because whatever part that person played, but now it shouldn't repeat. This person should change. So if we really have this whole thing of we want everyone in the world to be a good citizen, it really needs mercy. And if there is no mercy, we will not be able to share as bestower, so that soul can change. I mean, that's how I see it, and I also had been doing it. No, it doesn't, from my heart, never a curse comes for anyone. Immediately just come, have good wishes, so that he's not like that anymore. He can change, can be elevated. That's what my natural thinking is about. When there is love for the souls, love for the world. But if you say, as Dadi Janki said, oh, this one is like that, she said, you're putting a stamp on that person. And it's a curse, because you're not allowing now. Your words can become like a stamp on that soul. But if you always think about, no, Baba had been giving us practice of eternal, original nature of every soul, even at that time. I think that's really true mercy with Baba. I had been trying to kind of feel how Baba is merciful on me or on the world. How he expresses his mercy. It comes from love, it comes from knowledge, and so I have to follow Baba that way. So I'm kind of thinking where I am from my heart and where I need to add more.
I think it's, I can totally relate more now when I find that the stage is a little bit more constant, more elevated. And I know your stage is probably fluctuating much less than many Brahmins. But if I'm thinking of, someone who comes from work after a full day, gets home, there's a little argument at home, then the children are misbehaving, tries to have a nice meal, but he burns the cooking, or another mistake. And then you have to say, okay, now I have to be merciful and bestower for the world. There's such a gap sometimes. Is there a little in-between stage if we're not really able to connect to such an elevated stage? How do we make sure we don't break at least too much and we stay somewhere in between?
When one comes home and whatever is happening, but it is important to be peaceful and loveful, right? Just be loveful, just be peaceful, so you're not irritated. Even you cannot be merciful, remaining in your own image, in other words, also is becoming merciful. Because I am peaceful, I am loveful, whatever is happening around me will give others also that vibrations or the support. Whatever is the reason those souls are not very happy or content, but you are being that image. No, Baba said living image. If I become living image, then it will make everything very calm and loveful again. So you don't have to deal with it. See, that's what I'm noticing now. One is to take care of situation, other is to maintain your stage. And if you are maintaining a stage, the situation will change, the vibrations and everything will change. But what we do, we try to change the situation. So just be in that stage. That's what Brahma Baba did when there were anger, people were so against. He just remained in that stage, in that intoxication. And it's not he's responding, he's trying to get it right, but he's in that image. And that, I think, in itself is mercy.
So instead of just trying to be the great merciful and bestower, just to pay attention, how am I really thinking about myself as well? And actually, it's exactly where I wanted to share something with you. And it's not so much a question as if I feel like I'm switching to a medical room. So I'm more like with my doctor now, and I'm sharing what's happening in my mind. And you tell me if it's okay. But I realized lately that, it's like some thoughts I would say come from Eric, a good Eric, BK Eric, Brahmin Eric, but he's thinking. But I've been also listening to you many months ago. You talked a lot about the original self and the eternal self. And I'm hearing more and more myself having very beautiful thoughts. And I know it's the original self and the eternal self thinking. And now they have conversation. So sometimes Eric has thoughts about the original self. And sometimes the original self says to Eric, but Eric, you're body conscious now. So how much do you feel your thoughts are always coming from the original self and the eternal self? Or do you still have thoughts from Sister Mohini also in your mind? So do you have also Sister Mohini thinking and sometimes the original self thinking? Is that normal, Doctor?
So, definitely is the Sister Mohini thinking about the original eternal self and keep reminding. And then a time comes that you have acquired certain percentage of that stage. Yeah, what your question is very valid, and I need to think more about it maybe to see percentage. I don't know percentage, but whenever I have to decide something, whenever I have to say something, I try to come to in that instead of just what Mohini has to say, let speak. No. So I pay attention to that very often, I think. But I think we all want to reach to a stage where I don't have to remind myself. I just become that, and to look into what percentage is there.
That's what I was interested to know from you, because for me, it's like this original stage. I'm saying the original self. It's more like, it's a very pure thinking, and I'm liking it a lot. And I feel, oh, keep talking. I want to, you should be talking or thinking all the time. So when I hear Eric sharing, I say, Eric, it's okay. You don't have to talk now. Let the original self talk. It's more interesting. And I'm wondering, like, for you, it's been a process you have done for a long time. And when you were saying earlier that when somebody, says something and you go inside and you look at Baba and you say, it would be okay, it also comes from Baba. So is that your way of connecting also with your original self, your pure self? So the thoughts you create are not just Sister Mohini, but also from the deeper, original self of the soul.
Yeah. If you want the soul to have blessing, it has to come, of course. Even my connection can be with Baba when I am in original self, eternal self. It's like so easy, it's like connection is there. And whatever one thought you get, you just say that, and that becomes blessing. I mean, I don't want to say, but a lot of people find that it does happen, A lot of people even come to tell me what is happening so that I can say few words, like dadis, Once they say it's going to be okay, it gives us a lot of strength and courage and support. But when they're saying it, because that's like a blessing they're giving to us. And blessing only comes from Baba. That means soul is, I just take a second and in a pure stage, I look at Baba and I just hear one word, and it's like, or signal, and I say that. And when I say it, it does work, it becomes like a blessing. But as I said, we have to keep increasing that capacity and not become aware that I am giving blessing. But it's Baba who gives the blessing. We become the instruments. Right?
I had when I was listening to you earlier, I had the thought, it's one thing to be blissful, but also we should become blessingful. So we accumulate in such a way that blessings become natural. I know there will be many opportunities for the whole month, and I'm sure the questions will come about the difference between mercy, compassion, forgiveness, pity. There's so many different nuances. But where do you think comes really like the core issue of becoming merciful? What is the source? You mentioned love, I think, in the Hindi class earlier. But where do you think this mercy really comes from deep in the soul? Like, do you need to be, is it just purity? Is it being free myself from, like, I don't have any judgment against myself, you know, so I can be like that towards other? Where do you think is the source of that mercy?
My experience of mercy from God,
Mm,
how Baba was merciful on me, what he did, you know, I had been really writing. It's like my days that what Baba does in our lives, what is his mercy, and from where that mercy is arising. You know, because I had been also sharing about difference between kindness, compassion, but there is mercy, then I say there is a grace, you know, and then there are blessings, you know. So I think that I follow Baba, take Baba's mercy in a proper way. That means self-transformation, obedience, do what I have to do. Then Baba's grace comes on me. You know, that means it's like Baba is happy with me. And then blessings come from Baba. So from mercy, it keeps changing. So same is like when I will share with my partners or with my, you know, those who are with me, it's not mercy really. But what it is blessing more, you know. And so I think that if we start seeing that what I have to do, so I am trying to understand and kind of within myself create the experience of what Baba did to me to be as merciful. And now he doesn't need to be merciful on me only when if I make mistakes, because now he gives blessing. And he gives the opportunity for us to, you know, serve in a different way. That's what I feel. And that morning you are talking about was amazing experience. I myself had tears in my eyes, and the love, it was so much all over, so much. Every soul was loveful, very happy, joyful. And I really felt for a minute that we are in golden age, and it's really beautiful. That morning, I was telling Wadi, we all created good program. She said, it just, this morning's program had been created. It was not our program, but even Nivasi said we should do this, do this. So it was really very, very powerful, very powerful. And I was telling someone that my commitment to Yagya was so deeply awakened that I am not seeing any physical uh, external situations, but I'm just saying that, yes, it's my commitment. And I liked when Jayantiben said, I didn't say yes to the role, but I said to God, yes, I will serve. So I think it was very deeply touching, the whole thing, for our commitment to Yagya. That finally we all are for Yagya, we are meant for Yagya. So
I
it
think
was very,
definitely it was very powerful, but also I think for many of us who are observing these scenes for many years, I think it's clear where we're at, you know, that it has changed. You have changed a lot. My sister Genti has changed a lot. We all have changed. And it's so encouraging to see scenes like that in Peace Village, where, you know, for me, it was a great enthusiasm to think, well, we're getting there, you know, after all these years, you know, golden age is coming, golden age coming. Yeah, golden age is very close. It feels like that. I don't know if you remember, but we were in a car with Daddy Jenki on the way to the airport. And I was not teasing her, but I was telling her, Daddy, I feel that, you know, Raj Yoga doesn't work well enough on me. You know, I'm not changing my sanskars, and I find that, I don't know, is it really working, this Raj Yoga? And then Janki was telling me, and you were laughing because you were translating. And she said, Eric, Daddy remembers very well how you were when you came to Gyan. Do you want Daddy to tell you? So I think if I remember how I was in the beginning and how much I have changed, I should be able to think how much Baba has mercy for me. And one day you told me in Peace Village, I was telling you that, yeah, I did make mistakes and I was feeling, bad about it. And I was seeking advice as usual, forgiveness, advice, and what do we do after mistakes? And you told me, think of how much Baba must have love for you, so that even after making mistakes, his mercy and blessings kept you going the way you're going. And I felt, wow. And I think these words mean even more now after what you just said today, that if I see Baba's mercy on me, maybe that's where my mercy for others should come as well. So I think it's very beautiful, very pure.
Yeah, because our own reflection, everything is limited. But what I have received and that experience is very clear. And then it becomes easy for me also to be merciful in the same way as Baba was merciful on me. And he is still, it's not that we don't make mistakes, but his mercy really is always there.
So I guess there will be also a topic later, maybe as a preview, the connection between being a bestower and a renunciator of desires. Is there any, I guess there should be a little problem being, bestower, but still having desires. Do you see something, a connection between desires and bestowing? Is it an obstacle?
There could be, yeah, it is definitely, because when you will listen morely tomorrow, you will read it, that Baba is saying to be free from obstacles, you have to be altruistic server and your awareness should be powerful. Then you will be free from obstacles. So I think that time comes in the life when there are no desires, you feel you are obtained everything, what else you want? And then we know that Baba is constantly sustaining us and fulfilling what our desires are. So I think based on that, yeah, you can be free from desires. Total purity is important. And I was thinking for two of us that I think we have seen maximum of everything, all attainments. So there is nearly not, okay, we should be appreciated, recognized. Certainly even there is no desire for that, maybe little percentage, but mostly as far as I can understand, we're not looking for anything like that.
So we don't have desires, but I know devotees have desires to see the living goddesses. And my only little desire is a little totally sometimes, but as a pure desire. So it's an altruistic desire, so everyone can benefit from it on Saturday night.
Okay, so we have nice Christmas cookies, ginger cookies, they call it. And then we also have a toli, chocolate toli. So 2 tolis there.
Nice.
Yeah. You all
Perfect for taking
come
us
here.
into.
Yeah, come here to take that toli.
We are all together enjoying the toli and the fragrance. And I know we want to honor all the goddesses that we are thinking about. So tonight will be another presentation and dance. So happy to share with everyone and to be with the whole Avyakti Parivar team. So
You had been dancing little bit or no?
my mind has been dancing a lot, yeah, since last weekend. It's a natural dance.
Yeah, but
It's a good
also
dance.
there are so many dancing souls from Montreal and from Winnipeg and all over. So you can also join little bit. Yeah.
Well,
Okay. It was
thank you,
very,
Mohini Didi, and good night,
thank you.
everyone, and Om
Yeah, thank
Shanti.
you. And good night. Om Shanti.
Night.